Hello and welcome to the A Plus podcast. I am Tehillah Malunga, your host today, and with me here I have lovely people who are going to have a conversation with me on the focus on the foundation. I have John Glory, Linda Salati, and Angela Muleta. Hi guys.
Hi.
John, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. It's so excited to be here. Hi guys.
Linda, are you good?
I am feeling great, really excited for this podcast.
Angela, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. I am blessed and really honored to be here with you.
Amazing. So today's topic is focus on the foundation. The foundation. What foundation are we talking about? So this is us talking about the A Plus Student Foundation. Some of you might have heard about it, or it could be new to you. So the A Plus Student Foundation. What is the A Plus Student Foundation, or who are these people?
Wow, that's a very good question, Tehillah. Thank you so much for that. So the A Plus Student Foundation is a student-led organization which was founded last year, November 2023. And the A Plus Student Foundation is actually a community, I would say, a community of young people, students from across, the globe. And our vision as the A Plus Foundation is actually to be able to create a global community. So I should say that the A Plus Student Foundation is a global community of interconnected young people who actually want to be the change and who want to make positive impact in society.
Great. I love how lately there have been a lot of youth-led organizations springing up and just trying to be the change in the globe and in our various societies. So this is the foundation I have heard. What's the vision of this foundation? There are many things that various foundations have as a target, or what they want to do, or what's guiding them. What is the A Plus Student Foundation trying to do? What's their vision?
Wow. Right. Wow. Thank you so much again for that question. What is the vision of the A Plus Student Foundation? So the vision of the A Plus Student Foundation is to help raise the current and next generation of globally influential African leaders, creators, trendsetters, and innovators. So as a foundation, what we have realized is that there's a very huge gap when you look at our current state as Africa and also the Western world. So as a foundation, we actually have come to realize that the solution to the problems that society is facing is actually young people. And most of these young people are students, and most of these young people are out there in society. And so we realize that if we can formulate and come up with a global community of young people and who can share one mind and one goal, then they can be able to, to bring the change and be able to transform Africa. So our vision as the foundation actually is just to create a global community of interconnected young people, and also who can be able to have access to mentorship and guidance from people who've gone ahead of them, and also who can be able to give guidance to people who are actually following behind them.
Great. I heard you mention change. Why is it necessary that we be the change as young people? Why can't we just follow systems? Why can't we just live the way things are? Why can't we just follow through what our older generation is doing? Why can't we just be there? Because there are certain people who just look at things as being okay the way they are, right?
That's true.
Yeah. So there's certain people out there who be like, I feel like the society's systems are okay. They're running all right. Why? What's the reason for the change?
Thank you so very much for that question. So one thing that we can never run from as human beings is change.
That's true.
That is the only thing that is so constant about our lives. Change. The world keeps on transitioning from one state to the other. Things keep on changing. The way we knew things long ago if we look back in our history and we try to compare it with what we have now, things have really changed. And for us to be successful as a human race, we need to understand the principles behind transitioning. The only time you're going to live a life that is not benefiting you is when you don't understand that the world has transitioned, that something that used to work a long time ago is no longer working. Something that was effective a long time ago is no longer working. So we as a foundation have understood this. And that is why we are advocating for change, and we are actually assisting people in understanding this change and also how to go about it. I think this is what I can say.
Great. Yeah. So you mentioned seeing the transition, or identifying or acknowledging the transition between what was and what is, right? And I see that even just the way certain systems are operating, you can really tell without going very deep that things in society have changed. The way the youths are handling certain issues, the way youths are now involved in decision making, the way youths are now involved in very, very important positions in the society. And I love that we are trying to see that change so that we can embrace it and know what to do with that change or how to carry it forward. But one thing that I will try to put out is our ability to acknowledge what is necessary from the past. I feel like those people before us laid certain foundations that we can still build on. And us neglecting those foundations and trying to build completely new foundations is going to take us a whole lot of years to actually make the change. So I feel like us realizing that we can actually build on things that were before and just change a few things or a few pillars and bring up new change and new towers of change in the society. So that brings me to the pillars of the foundation. I know that there are 5 pillars in the foundation, of the foundation rather. Please break that down for us, Angela.
Okay, thank you. Before I go into the pillars, I would like to highlight something. So, ever since the foundation was formed, I've had many people ask me to say, what is the A Plus Student Foundation about? Is it just for students who get A pluses?
Okay,
That's not the case. It's the point of having this foundation is having A pluses in every single thing that we do.
great.
In every aspect
All
of
around.
life. In your business, you should have an A plus. What does an A plus mean? Being excellent, excelling, standing out and being supreme. That is the purpose of our foundation. And how do we do that? So we have to sit down. Let's just break it down. Let's get real, people.
Yes.
We have people who spend 5 years, 6 years, and 7 years in school learning, only focused on books, only to come out and have nothing to show for all the work that they did. They just come out with a degree, no connections. They haven't learned anything. They don't even know what they're supposed to do. And these are the people who will be questioning why they exist. Why? And on their deathbed, you see people crying.
Yeah.
And that's because they haven't fulfilled their lives. They feel inadequate. Even when they're dying, they feel they haven't done what they're supposed to do. And that is a problem. And as youths, we come in to solve problems. So this is where now the pillars come in. We have got 5 pillars. We look at purpose, we look at ideas, we look at mentorship, we look at generosity and
Connectivity.
yes, and connectivity. The first one being purpose. This is what we've been looking at through our webinars. We've had different presenters present on purpose and different aspects of life.
Yeah.
I like what Dr. Miles Monroe once said. He said that purpose is when you know and understand what you are born to accomplish, just as simple as that. And to know your purpose. We've had so many teachers, so many presenters talk to us about how to know your purpose. You sit down, you reflect in your life, see what works for you, what is easy for you, what excels for you. That is purpose. And where there is no purpose, damage is inevitable.
True.
If you don't know what your purpose is, you won't do what you're supposed to do. You won't live a fulfilling life. The other thing that we look at are ideas. I like what Miles Monroe said. I read Miles Monroe a lot and I follow him a lot. He said, poor people think about money. Rich people think about businesses, they think about things. And wealthy people think about ideas. If we want to be wealthy people, we have to pursue ideas. Ideas are what run the world. They sustain the world. They make us own things.
Yeah.
So now, as a foundation, we want to make leaders, trendsetters. How are you going to be a trendsetter? Get an idea. How are you going to be an innovator? Get an idea. That's what we look at as a foundation. Then we're looking at generosity. We want to give back to the community. This is why we have things like the A+ student clubs in different schools. They're getting grade 10s up to grade 12s. This will come in and it's going to be great, and we're really looking
Huge.
forward
It's going to be huge.
going to be huge. We look at mentorship. In mentorship, this is where the webinars also come in. When we talk to those great people, we are bridging that gap. They're teaching us to say, okay, when you come in this world as an entrepreneur, as a medical doctor, these are the things that you're going to face. As you are becoming, in your process of making yourself, this is what you have to look out for. This is what you have to do. We have got the aspect of connectivity. This is why now we come together as youths. What we're doing right now, we're connecting ourselves. We have to become connections.
Yeah.
I came across this very funny quote, but it's very true to say, under 30, below the age of 30, yes, you'll be like, I'm looking for connections.
Yeah.
But above the age of 30, you have to be the connection.
The connection, yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying to look at that as a foundation. And those are the pillars that we have.
Great. I love what you mentioned about purpose. You know, it's pointless for you to live a life without knowing your usefulness, right? It's more like you go in a kitchen, pick up cutlery and go and use it in the garden. Are you sure that's where it should be used? You go and you want to dig a pit, you go and get a spoon. No matter how big the spoon is, but that's not the use of the spoon. So it's us realizing what is my usefulness in the society. What have I? Why am I here? You know, and I feel like the age range, the 20s, that's when you really need to know why you are on earth, what's your usefulness. Because when you skip this stage and you go into your 30s and you go on living life irrelevantly, you won't maximize your relevance to the society. And I love the pillars. They really speak problem solving. They really speak problem solving. So now we have these pillars. We have purpose, we have ideas, we have connectivity, we have mentorship. How are we trying to implement this in our societies? You know, we can be singing, oh, purpose, oh, mentorship, but how are we doing it? How are we bringing that and implementing it in our societies to solve these problems, to be the change, to be trendsetters?
Wow, thank you so much for that question. If I get you correctly, you're asking how we are making these
Happen.
Thank you. How we are making this happen. Okay, so one of the things that I love when Pastor Rudolph Paswani came through to the foundation, he talked about being result oriented, and I like to look at us as a foundation in that sense, looking at where we are coming from and where we are currently. How are we trying to make this? How are we making this work? So if you look at some of the things that we've been able to do and establish from the time we started, I think that in itself shows you how we've been able to do that. So we are trying to awaken people to purpose. In the first quarter, we looked at purpose, and you know, it's been amazing, some of the responses that we've gotten from people who've attended the webinars,
yes,
saying, okay, you know, I never looked at purpose in that sense. And so no matter how small No matter how small what we are doing is, I believe it's going a long way. And so we believe that if we can have young people awaken to these 5 pillars, if they can begin to think in these lines, then their lives can be structured in that way, and they can begin to live in that particular direction. So what we are just trying to do is trying to influence their actions, trying to influence their belief system, trying to influence their values. Because if we as young people can begin to value purpose, if we can begin to value ideas, if we can begin to value connectivity, if we can begin to value mentors, if we can begin to value generosity, then I believe that as a foundation we'll be able to make this happen. And also what we are trying to do is making this, spreading this. Okay, spreading this. As a foundation, we are fulfilling purpose by getting our voices out there and having people listen and also be impacted and inspired by what we're trying to do. So I think that those are some of the ways in which we are trying, and we are making this thing work.
Yeah, and one of the pillars is generosity, right? And it speaks of us giving back to our societies, right? And even just amongst us, there's so much people are doing that we wouldn't recognize, like individually, like, but then in our own ways we have been giving back to the society in various ways, or various measures, right? And then I like how the 5 pillars connect with each other, because if you look at it in a way that when you realize your purpose and you know your usefulness, you are easily in a place of generosity, because you now know what you need to do for the society. And as you are giving to the society, there are people under you who can learn from you, and you are mentoring those people. You are mentoring those people even unguidedly. They're just people who are mentored by the way you live your life, and yeah, and that also brings ideas to people. It provokes people. When you're around influential people, or you are around impactful people, they're just people who, just the way they live, or the way they carry themselves, the way they speak, how they articulate things, what they speak of, it just provokes you. Your idea database just gets provoked. Like, wow, like somebody can actually think like this, and it gets you thinking, like, okay, a normal human being needs to be provoked by such people. A normal human being. And I love how the foundation has just brought to our exposure mentors.
Wow.
We have had mentorship, guys. Guys, the first quarter was so loaded, and every webinar was, guys, I can't even explain it. Yeah. So I just want you to highlight mentorship. What's the relevance? Why do I need a mentor? Okay, why can't I just live my life the way I want to?
Wow. Okay. Allow me to visit the gospel and just grab one statement.
Yes.
When we read the Bible, we are told, actually, this was God crying out to us. My people are perishing because they are lacking knowledge. And there's something dangerous about this. He continues and he says, if you reject my knowledge, he says, I'll curse you and I'll curse even your generations.
It's deep.
So another thing, even from the book of Proverbs, you get to see something so amazing. There's nothing that is building a house and laying a foundation than wisdom and knowledge. And that is where mentorship comes in. If you do not know, you will not know how to act. And if there's lack of implementation in your life, you are preparing for doom.
Yeah.
Lack of proper implementation, if I could put it right. You are preparing for doom. So now, mentorship, we are believing, we are interacting with people that have already gone to a place where we would want to go. We are interacting with people that have faced these challenges that maybe I might be facing currently. So mentorship is coming in to actually tell you about where you're going. That is number one. It is good to talk about a mentorship in terms of success and what someone has achieved, but it's also important to talk about the failures that someone has encountered, because the true success any person is ever going to have is a sum total of their failures and everything that worked out right.
Yeah.
So these people that actually have gone before us are very, very important, because they have tested the bitter waters. They have seen the darkness itself. They know what is there. And if they can see a person who's heading the very direction, they are in a better position to tell you the ABCD. They're in a better position to tell you what you must do. And most importantly, what you must not do. So mentorship is very, very important. It is very, very cardinal. Lives are saved. Lives are saved. I do not know if I can use a Bemba quote, but we like using it because it saves us. Very important. Very, very important. If someone has seen something, they know the advantages and the disadvantages, I'm willing to learn from them so that I know and actually I know the decisions I'm supposed to make. I know the path I'm supposed to take, because I know someone has been there and they understand it better and they have inspired me about it already. I think that's what I can say.
Yeah. I don't see the need for you going through a fire that your father or your mother or whoever around you went through, when you can just inquire, like, okay, I'm going this direction and there's a fire there. Do I need to go through it? Or if I go through it, am I going to burn? And they tell you, like you have these people. I feel like mentorship is it's that structure that doesn't allow you to go through a certain fire, because it will burn you, of course. So these are people, mentorship preserves. Mentorship does preserve, because you don't need to go through fire that somebody has gone through, because they'll just simply tell you, okay, this direction, you are headed for fire and you don't need to go there, retreat. So I love that the foundation has given us this platform where we can access mentorship. People are being preserved. People's purposes are being preserved. People's lives are being preserved, Yeah, because you are saving someone from being useless. I don't know another term to use, but you are saving someone from being useless, because you are constantly telling them, realize your usefulness, realize your purpose. Why are you on earth? So you're saving someone from just roaming the streets and not knowing what to do, when that person could have been one of the most important people in our society. So I love that the foundation has taken mentorship upon itself and is having our people get mentored in and to become these relevant people. And so connectivity. Amongst the young people, you will hear this thing a lot, connections. In quotation marks, connections. Like it's where somebody will say, how did that person get there? And someone will say, no, it's connections. And then I feel like there's a misinterpretation. I don't think there's anything wrong with connections. Everyone has connections at their disposal. You have the chance to know people. You have the chance to know influential people. It's just about you deciding to be intentional about making these connections. Your network is your net worth.
Yes.
So connectivity. How are we doing this? I know we have members of the foundation from across the country and even some outside the country. How are we trying to enhance connectivity even amongst ourselves? Because we don't know who's going to be the president tomorrow. What if it's one of us? So I make use of these people, you guys. I make use of these people because I never know. What if it's me? What if it's my neighbor? So how are we trying to enhance connectivity?
Okay, that's a very good one and important one. As people who want to become connections.
Yes. Yeah.
First of
Future
all,
connections.
we first of all have to be connected. So how are we doing that? Firstly, for you to get connected, you have to be recognized. And how do you get recognized? Add value to yourself.
Great.
Just that. And how do you add value to yourself? What are you good at? What makes you stand out? Invest in that. Put hours, put work, read, practice. When you do that, you become something that is sought for. You become someone that is sought for. That is very important. Such that, like, we are aiming to become people where we don't have to introduce ourselves. When you get into a room, people already know you
because of what you do.
Yes, they know Tehillah for this. So Tehillah is a very good presenter. She's really good at what she does. When you walk in a room, oh, this is Tehillah, everybody. What you've done should talk for you. Your action should speak for you. And as the foundation, how are we doing this? We are training people in that aspect through the same webinars that we have. That is the first. So we are training people to become of value by educating them. Secondly, the world has been made so easy with technology. We've got different platforms. We are all over. We are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are on WhatsApp. And there are different people who come to those platforms. We can talk to them about different things. We are making connections so that when you reach that point, you're looking for employment. It won't be corruption. It will be connectivity.
Yes.
Because there's a difference between corruption and connectivity.
True.
Connectivity is hard-earned. It's earned through personal branding. And for you to brand yourself, you have to first form yourself. Make yourself valuable. That's how, as a foundation, we are pursuing connectivity.
And just to add on what Angela said, on how we are really formulating the connectivity aspect of the foundation. Of course, I'm so excited to talk about the satellites. So what we are trying to do is we are looking at connectivity on two aspects. Firstly is on a digital level, where we have started off as a foundation. And digitally, it has enabled us to connect with people from across. As a foundation, we have members across the country from different institutions and members outside the country as well. And that is helping us to be able to connect with people that we would not have connected to prior to the establishment of the foundation. Then, of course, we have satellites, which, of course, are coming up, where we will also foster the connectivity that is going to be, physical, where people are going to come up, different talents, different skills. They're just going to, interact with each other. And that will also give us an opportunity to really mentor, to see mentorship being actualized on a physical level. Because right now we are mentoring each other, being mentored on a virtual aspect. But going forward, we want to have those satellites where in different, learning environments, we can sit down and just say, okay, today we're just going to talk about connectivity. Or today we're just going to talk about ideas. Or today we're just going to invite a professional, a lawyer or whoever to just come and talk to us about how we can be able to do this and this and this and this. And so that will help us to, actualize mentorship, but also connect on a personal level and just begin to share, the ideas and what makes each one of us unique. And we are trying to connect with each other because we know there's something unique about each and everybody of us. Each and every one of us, rather. So we want to connect with a unique aspect of a person, not with the photocopy, version. No, I'm this person. But we want to connect with Linda because she's authentic. We want to connect with Angela because she's authentic in what she does and who she is and in the way she's branded herself as a person.
Yeah, that's connection is important. It's very important, and it's important that we all see the relevance of this.
So let me just add on. just on connectivity. It's something I do. I don't know if the other members do that. So as a foundation, there's something that we do even before we invite any presenter on our webinars. We do a thorough research on them. And of course, we actually present that to our community. So before this presenter comes, you know who they are, you know what they do, you know their specialties and everything put together. So already if their specialties kind of, you know, make your light bulb kind of tingle, you want to follow them.
Yeah.
So for me, whenever someone comes up and I realize that what they're doing is something I would like to do,
Yes.
I follow them wherever I can find them. I will.
Yeah.
And I begin to, if it's Facebook, I'll be there. If it's YouTube, I'll be following them. So I've personally gotten to meet mentors from our webinar presentations, people that I could have never, you know, managed to locate by myself. But with the help of the webinar, I managed to, started following them, and I'm still getting to learn more, you know, from them, you know, because already they taught us something. That kind of, you know, just gave me that drive and I wanted to know more. So you follow them up and you continue to learn and you're adding value to yourself. You're actually adding value to your life.
That's great. You know, I love how connectivity on its own it's got a lot of things that it encompasses. You know, there's you being a connection, you being connected. You know, and if you want to be connected in both scenarios, whether you being connected or you being a connection, you need to brand yourself. You need to brand yourself. Personal branding is something that speaks for you. You know, yeah, and that's why I was saying earlier that the pillars are connected. Because if you know your purpose, you will brand yourself in that manner. Yeah, and so there's really a lot that the foundation is doing, you know, and trying to do. But of course, there are challenges. You know, you want to mentor people, but then obviously there's a challenge in mentorship or trying to mentor them. You want people to be purpose-driven people. Obviously, there's a challenge. So maybe we can highlight, maybe let's say 2 challenges which we have faced so far.
Okay, thank you very much. The first one I would bring out is, as a foundation, what we are really trying to do is reprogram someone's mindset. And reprogramming someone's mindset takes a lot because this person has got years, you know, they have years backing them that they use to practice a certain habit. So you are trying to reprogram them by introducing them to this knowledge or to this wisdom. That in itself is a challenge, because if I can speak realistically, there are people that think mentorship is a waste of time. Number one. There are those that think mentorship is more of a fairy tale or a story, you know, especially because we have people that they have heard good speeches before, they have heard good words before, but then when they were hit with reality, everything just collapsed. So the number one challenge is actually reprogramming the mindset, bringing those people that might have lost faith in mentorship, bringing people that have lost faith in purpose, bringing all those people that have lost faith in ideas. I've tried this, I also tried that, it didn't work out. So we're trying to bring all those people back, all those youths back, and give them another, just redirect them in another. We're still talking about purpose, but we have added something to it. I believe so. As a foundation, we have added something unique to it, and this is what we're using to bring them back. And of course, that's a challenge. Others still believe, others don't believe, others are believing. So we're still trying to pull people. We're still trying to pull people to a point where at least we'll be comfortable to say we have put in enough. So that's one challenge. And of course, it even borders others, even participation as well. Because we have the A+ community on Facebook, we have the A+ community on WhatsApp, we have the A+ community on all these platforms. But the people that get to participate we've been trying various ideas to just try to make people, be active.
part, yeah.
We want people to be part, but still we still face that challenge where others are completely out of it. And we still have more coming in that show interest. So even that as well, I believe that has been a challenge. Working on it, we're not giving up. We're trendsetters, we're innovators. It's in our vision. We're not stopping. If it means we're pulling, that's what we're doing. So those are really some of the challenges that we have faced.
Mindset changing is a big thing. It's really big. And I love that everyone in the foundation or the executive have decided not to give up on people. Like whether you're believing otherwise, but we will make sure that you realize that your relevance is needed in the society, and we want you to realize that you need to be useful to the society. So in closing, I hate to do this, but in closing, what are you saying to somebody out there who is still doubting or is still skeptical about mentorship? What are you saying? Why do you need to be mentored? Why? Yeah. What are you saying to somebody?
Wow. Thank you so much, Tehillah, for that question. Well, let me take it a little bit personal. I'm one person that really values mentorship.
Yeah.
And I'm one person that really does a lot of consulting. My friends can bear witness to that. Even when just dressing up, I'm trying to try between two t-shirts or three t-shirts. I go to my friends, I'm like, which one goes with this? And, so I really value an opinion, because what mentorship does is that it gives you access to what you cannot see. Okay, it takes you to a place where you've never been at, which really took somebody years to be there. It gives you the opportunity to look at life from like you look back at life, like stepping in the foot of the person that is actually mentoring you. And so I think mentorship is of the essence. We cannot overemphasize the importance of mentorship. If we are going to establish anything, if we are going to do anything that is relevant and anything that is huge or big, and that is why to us as a foundation, it's core. Mentorship is core in whatever that we are doing, in everything that we are trying to implement. Mentorship will never miss, because we realize that we cannot, just like you said in the initial phases, that you cannot just start something from nowhere. You build on what has already existed. And so we are not saying that everything that is out there is bad, but we are saying we are riding on the good things that we are seeing, and we are building on that. And so mentors give us access to something that is, to knowledge, to exposure that is priceless. You can't put a price tag on the guidance that you get from mentors. And so I think this is something that is very important to every young person out there. Find somebody whom you can submit to. Find someone who can mentor you. It's not everybody, quite all right, but it's somebody whom you look up to and you're like, I want to be there. If I can only be like 10% of this person, that's what mentorship is. And you go to that person and you submit and you listen and you learn as much as you can. And the beauty is that you can have many mentors, different areas of your life, and that's what I do. I have mentors. I'm a medical student. I have mentors who are medical
in
doctors.
Field, yes.
Yeah, I have mentors in ministry. I have mentors in different aspects of life, people that I look up to, and I try to learn as much as I can from those people.
That's great. Mentorship gives you an opportunity to ride on the shoulders of giants in various specs, various parts of your life, And I think there's a saying, I don't know if it's Nigerian or what, but it says, what an old man sees while sitting, a young man cannot see even if they stand.
Wow.
So you're seeing through the lenses of these people who have gone ahead, but then we would take that otherwise. Like a mentor doesn't have to be older than you always. this is just a person who has gone ahead of you in a certain area of your life, so you can just see whatever they are seeing through their lens, just see it clearer because they've seen it before. So Linda, in closing, tell somebody who thinks connections are corrupt, because the society doesn't use this thing right. There are those legal connections, and then there are those corrupt connections, but there are obviously those relevant and meaningful connections. Speak to somebody who thinks all connections are corrupt and they don't need them.
I had to laugh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Connections. The truth is, the world is what it is today because people have decided to connect. I wanted to give just a simple example. I believe we were told those stories before. We used to, what did we used to wear? Animal coats? We were wearing. But when you look at us today, smart wear, like my president, though they can't see him. But this is because people have decided to connect, shared ideas, and worked together for the common goal. So connections, meaningful connections, always sought for these meaningful connections. There's something that you don't know that someone knows better. Connect with them. There's something that someone has seen that you have not seen. So for you to even be exposed to that, be connected to somebody who has been exposed. So connections really, it's the only thing that is making this world move. People are coming together. People are sharing knowledge. People are sharing wisdom. And that is why this world keeps on moving. If you are done with your school, yes, you need your connections. Sure. You need it. I'm not saying you pay and you bribe and you do. You need connections. You need connection. You need to be connected to somebody, or somebody needs to be connected to you. You need somebody who's above you to be connected to you, to pull you from where you are to another level, just as you need to connect to somebody who's below you. We are forming a chain. Yes. That is how this world is going to develop. If I become successful by myself and cut all my connections, I'm not even giving back to society.
No, you're not.
I'm not being generous.
No.
But if I can become successful by virtue of me being connected to somebody who's above me, and I also form another loop, and I form this chain that makes me help people that are below me, then that's how we're bringing success. That's how this is working out. So we need to I need to be connected just as much as I need to be a connection. I think this is what I believe about connection.
Yeah. Make those relevant and meaningful connections.
Yes.
Yes. Angela, in closing, purpose. Someone out there is wondering, am I really living in my purpose, or have I realized my purpose? What do they have to look out for to realize their purpose? This is Tehillah trying to, am I living for what I'm useful for? Speak to Tehillah who is not sure. Yeah.
Okay, so one thing we have to realize, I'll give an example of a phone. You get, let's say, an iPhone, and you don't know how it works. What do? You go to where you bought it from and ask, how do I use this? Every single person who is alive was created for a specific purpose. God does not create junk.
No, he doesn't
create useless things. Every single thing he does is for a purpose. So what do? Let's go back to our manufacturer and ask God,
why
what is my purpose? Why do I exist? In that way, we'll live fulfilling lives. I came across a debate that was going on to say, which one is the richest place on earth? Where is the richest place? And most of the people said the richest place is the grave, because many people die with ideas, with so much potential that wasn't realized. So to that one person who is saying, I don't know my purpose, go back to your creator. You know your purpose. It is within you. You have everything that you need within you. Just sit down, think about what you're passionate about.
What you do good.
Yeah. What do you do? What are you passionate about? What is that one thing you do that when you do it, you feel fulfilled? You're like, oh, yes, I had a great day. I've definitely done something today worthwhile. So people should go in that aspect.
Wow. Ish, this has been a loaded conversation, guys. I have had an amazing time with everyone. And yeah, a loaded conversation. And ish, I'm speechless, guys. I'm speechless. But we should remember to be relevant to the society, and let's not withhold our relevance. Let's be relevant and remember that we are stronger together. And remember, you can find A Plus Student Foundation on Facebook, on Instagram, and also we have a WhatsApp platform as well. So thank you so much for listening to us, and do join us in our next podcast as we are looking forward to having another amazing conversation. Good day.